Call the member for Solomon.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I rise today to raise awareness, as some of my other colleagues have, on Volunteers Week. Volunteers Week runs this week from the 13th to the 19th of May, and this year's theme is to thank people a million, because if it wasn't for our volunteers, the organisations in our community just would not survive. National Volunteers Week has been going since 1986, and there's about 36% of Australian people, or just over 6 million people, volunteer every year in some way or form, at least, that's right. And they contribute about 713 million hours of unpaid work. And it was really interesting to find out that the typical age group of volunteers is around 35 to 44 and 65 to 74. But in my electorate, where the median age is about 33, we actually have a lot of young people that provide some sort of volunteer work in our community, which is really pleasing. I would like to pay tribute to all of the volunteers in Darwin and Palmerston for the outstanding work that they do in our community. So from me to them, thanks a million for the work that you do. We all know that the volunteers are the backbone of the organisations and the community. As I said, Mr Deputy Speaker, we would not be able to carry out the work that we do if it wasn't for our volunteers. Volunteers are people that coach kids' sporting teams. They deliver Meals on Wheels, and they provide things like the Northern Territory Field and Game, which is a conservation organisation. They do community work. SIDS and Kids, which I'm the patron for, has a lot of volunteers, particularly Fiona Peters, who has given up so much of her time. We had the Mother's Day Classic on the weekend, where there were so many volunteers that were involved in the organisation, or in the event, to get to that 2,000 people in Darwin walking and raising awareness for breast cancer. I'd also like to acknowledge Carolyn Reynolds, who is a person in our community who is very active and donates and volunteers in so many different organisations. We have Bill Miller in Palmerston who volunteers for the Palmerston Football Club. We have Penny Lisette, who is actively involved in a number of organisations. We have the Kiwanis Group, and we have the Rotarians. We have Selena Hodge, who volunteers with Camp Quality and is in the middle of organising a big fundraising event. We have Elena Gamatsis, who's very active in the community, the Greek community, and she was integral in getting the biggest morning tea. So many volunteers, Mr Deputy Speaker. Thanks a million to all of them.
Expired.